Introduction: Islam is not merely a religion. It is a complete code of life that encompasses every aspect of human existence. Its origins do not begin with the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, but rather with Prophet Adam, peace be upon him. It is the same faith preached by all the prophets. The word Islam means submission, and peace, submission to the will of Allah, and peace through obedience to him. The core message of Islam revolves around three fundamental beliefs: Tawheed, monotheism; Risala, prophethood; and Akhira, hereafter. The Holy Qur'an declares, indeed, the religion in the sight of Allah is Islam. Surah Al-Imran 19. Islam teaches that one should believe in the oneness of Allah, reject all false gods, and lead life in accordance with his guidance. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, is the final messenger, and his life is a practical example of Islam. The 5 pillars of Islam. Islam is built upon 5 essential pillars. 1. Shahada, declaration of faith, the testimony, there is no God but Allah, and Muhammad is his messenger. 2. Salah, prayer. Muslims pray 5 times a day, which fosters closeness to Allah and prevents immoral behavior. 3. Psalm, fasting, observed during the month of Ramadan. Fasting promotes self-restraint and spiritual growth. 4. Zakah, almsgiving, giving a fixed portion of one's wealth to the needy to ensure social justice and economic balance. 5. Hajj, pilgrimage, a lifetime journey to the Kaaba in Mecca for those who are physically and financially able. Islam and personal life. Islam emphasizes excellent character and personal integrity. It encourages traits like truthfulness, patience, gratitude, forgiveness, and kindness. It strictly prohibits lying, backbiting, jealousy, arrogance, and injustice. The Prophet, peace be upon him, said, "Indeed, I was sent to perfect good character." Musnad Ahmad. Islam and social life. Islam stresses the importance of building a healthy society based on love, respect, and mutual care. Respect for parents, kindness to relatives, consideration for neighbors, support for orphans, the poor, and widows. Islam grants rights and dignity to both men and women. A woman is honored as a mother, daughter, wife, and sister. The Prophet, peace be upon him, said, "The best of you is the one who is best to his family, and I am the best among you to my family." Tirmidhi. Islam and economics. Islamic economics is based on justice, equity, and distinguishing between lawful halal and unlawful haram. Interest riba is strictly forbidden, as it causes economic imbalance. Trade is encouraged, but cheating, hoarding, fraud, and deception are forbidden. Charity, fair trade, and resource sharing are integral to the system. Islam and politics. In Islam, politics is about serving people, establishing justice, and upholding truth. The rightly guided caliphs, Rashidin, are prime examples of Islamic leadership. A ruler is considered a servant of the people, not their master. Caliph Umar famously said, "If a dog dies hungry by the banks of the Euphrates, Umar will be held responsible." Islam and knowledge. Islam gives utmost importance to knowledge. The first revelation of the Qur'an was, read Surah Al-Alaq. One seeking knowledge is obligatory for every Muslim man and woman. Throughout history, Muslim scholars, scientists, and philosophers like Ibn Sina, Al-Kayh, Izmi, Jabir ibn Hayyan, and Imam Ghazali made lasting contributions to the word Islam, and worship in Islam is not limited to rituals. It includes every good deed done with sincerity. The primary acts of worship, prayer, fasting, charity, pilgrimage, are spiritual training, but kindness, helping others, and service to humanity are also forms of worship. The Prophet, peace be upon him, said, "The best among you are those who are most beneficial to others." Tabara Islam and humanity. Islam is not confined to any race, ethnicity, or region. It is a universal faith for all mankind. The Qur'an says, "And we have not sent you, O Muhammad, but as a mercy to all the worlds." Surah Al-Anbiya 107. Islam teaches equality, where no one is superior to another based on color, wealth, or lineage. The only criterion for superiority is righteousness, taqwa. Islam's message is not for Muslims alone. It is a message of peace, justice, and guidance for all humanity. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, established the Charter of Medina, a model of peaceful coexistence between Muslims, Jews, and other communities. In a world torn by injustice, moral decay, corruption, and materialism, Islam offers a balanced, just, and peaceful solution. It connects humans to their Creator and to one another, bringing harmony at every level: spiritual, personal, social, and political. Conclusion: Islam is more than a religion. It is a comprehensive system of life. Its teachings illuminate every sphere of human existence, from prayer to politics, from home to the marketplace. Today, we must not limit Islam to rituals alone, but implement it in every aspect of life. Read the Qur'an with understanding, follow the Sunnah of the Prophet, peace be upon him, and let Islam guide us in every walk of life. Islam and education. Islam places such immense value on education that the very first word revealed in the Qur'an was, "Read Iqra in the name of your Lord who created." Surah Al-Alaq. One, education in Islam is both spiritual and worldly. The pursuit of knowledge is not optional. It is a religious duty. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, said, "Seeking knowledge is an obligation upon every Muslim man and woman." Ibn Majah, the Islamic Golden Age gave rise to a civilization where mosques doubled as universities, and Muslim scholars led the world in mathematics, astronomy, medicine, and philosophy. Islam also emphasizes the integration of faith and knowledge, meaning that science should not be devoid of morality and ethics. Islam and justice is the cornerstone of Islamic teachings. The Qur'an repeatedly commands believers to be just, even if it goes against themselves or their loved ones. O you who believe, be persistently standing firm in justice, witnesses for Allah, even if it be against yourselves or parents and relatives. Surah An-Nisa 135. In Islam, justice is universal and impartial. It is not limited by wealth, power, or status. The Prophet, peace be upon him, said, "By Allah, if Fatima, the daughter of Muhammad, were to steal, I would cut off her hand." Sahih al-Bukhari. This shows that no one is above the law in Islam, not even the Prophet's own family. Islam and the environment. Long before climate change became a global concern, Islam taught environmental responsibility. The Qur'an reminds humans that they are trustees Khalifa on earth. It is he who has appointed you stewards in the earth. Surah Al-An'am 165. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, said, "If a Muslim plants a tree or sows a field and a human, bird, or animal eats from it, it is counted as charity." Sahih Muslim. Islam encourages the preservation of natural resources, avoidance of waste, and compassion for animals. Wasting water, even during ablution, is discouraged. Islam and youth are the backbone of the Ummah. Islam doesn't neglect them. It addresses them directly. Young people were among the closest companions of the Prophet. Ali ibn Abi Talib accepted Islam as a child. Usama ibn Zayd led an army at age 17. Mus'ab ibn Umair became an ambassador of Islam at a young age. The Prophet invested in youth by giving them responsibility, knowledge, and confidence. In today's world, where youth face an identity crisis, Islam provides purpose, clarity, and direction. Islam and the role of women. Islam came at a time when women were oppressed, buried alive, and treated as property. It revolutionized the status of women, giving them rights to education, inheritance, ownership of property, consent in marriage, dignity, and respect in society, the Prophet said, "The best of you are those who are best to their women." Termid, Islam neither promotes the oppression of women nor their objectification. It honors their role in family, society, and faith. Islam and media in our time, media shapes hearts and minds. Islam encourages communication that spreads truth, wisdom, and peace. The Qur'an warns, "O you who believe, if a wicked person comes to you with news, verify it." Surah Al-Hujurat, 6 media should build, not destroy, unite, not divide. Islam prohibits spreading rumors, backbiting, false accusations, sensationalism. Muslim communicators, journalists, and influencers are urged to use their platforms to educate, inspire, and reform. Islam and interfaith harmony. Islam advocates tolerance and dialogue with other religions. The Qur'an encourages respectful discussion, and do not argue with the people of the book except in a way that is best. Surah Al-Ankabut 46. The Prophet engaged with Jews, Christians, and pagans in a manner marked by wisdom and compassion. The Constitution of Medina ensured religious freedom and coexistence for all. Islam recognizes the Abrahamic faiths, acknowledges previous prophets, and promotes peace across religious boundaries. Islam and human rights. Long before the modern concept of human rights, Islam proclaimed the dignity of every human being. We have certainly honored the children of Adam. Surah Al-Isra 70. Islam guarantees right to life, right to property, right to justice, right to freedom of belief, right to education, right to work. The farewell sermon of the Prophet is considered one of the greatest declarations of human rights in history. He said, "All mankind is from Adam and Eve. An Arab has no superiority over a non-Arab, nor does a non-Arab over an Arab, except by piety. Islam and peace." The very word Islam is derived from salam, which means peace. The Prophet was known as the mercy to all worlds, and he promoted peace at all levels, within individuals, families, societies, and nations. Islam allows for self-defense but prohibits aggression. It teaches believers to avoid conflict unless absolutely necessary and commands justice even in warfare. Challenges and misconceptions, unfortunately, due to misinformation, cultural practices, and the actions of a minority. Islam is often misunderstood as a religion of violence or oppression. The truth is, Islam condemns terrorism in all its forms. Islam promotes gender justice, not inequality. Islam welcomes diversity and dialogue, not fanaticism. It is the duty of Muslims to live by the true spirit of Islam and present it with wisdom and character. Call to action. Living Islam, holistically Islam, is not just about what happens in the mosque. It is about how you behave at home, in school, at work, in the market, and online. To live Islam fully, study the Qur'an with understanding, embrace the Sunnah of the Prophet, build strong character, serve humanity, be an ambassador of peace, truth, and justice. Final words, Islam is timeless. Whether in the 7th century or the 21st, it offers guidance that is relevant, rational, and radiant. It shapes hearts, transforms societies, and builds civilizations. Let us not reduce Islam to mere rituals. Let us rise to live it completely, courageously, and compassionately.